Hello and welcome to the Nebraska Chapter Chat. I am your usual host, Emily Burds, Marketing Coordinator for Razor Holdings and member of the Communications Subcommittee. But today I am handing the reins over to our special guest host, Jason Wellman from the Wisconsin Chapter, a part of ESOP Partners, as he takes on the task of interviewing myself and Angie Hoover, our chapter president, to talk about our experience with the national conference and winning the 2024 National Employee-Owned Company of the Year. Jason, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, it's my honor. It's not every day that you get to celebrate such a great award for such a great company. So it's my honor to come over and cross the border and really help, I guess, guest host this session today with you two lovely ladies. It was great seeing you just a couple weeks ago in Washington, D.C. at our Capitol for everything that happened at our national conference for the ESOP Association. And we did a lot. We did some Capitol Hill visits. We did some advocacy. We had a great conference in terms of programming. But really the highlight of the conference was our gala and our awards ceremony. And Razor Holdings had a strong showing. Not only did you get a scholarship recipient, which, by the way, there was only 3 handed out. So the fact that you got one of the 3 out of 6,533 employee-owned companies and 14.7 million employee owners, that's a big deal. Do you guys feel pretty excited about that?
We would have been happy with just that, Jason. We were blown away.
We were just seriously on fire from that announcement. We were like sending text messages and emails, and that was before the gala. And so we're like, we're good. You know what? We went out there knowing that, we were one of the 3 finalists for Company of the Year. And we kind of were like, these are some amazing companies. This competition was super stiff. They're just, hats off to these companies. And so when that was announced that Luke Nichols, son of Chris Nichols from our company, got one of these 3 scholarships, Emily and I were like, we're good. We're good. We're not worried about tonight. We're just going to have a nice time, and we're going to celebrate employee ownership and all of these fabulous things happening. So we were good. And then there was more.
Yeah, the night took on a life of its own a little bit. We had some great recipients across several different award categories. We had a professional membership award recipient. We had Officer of the Year. We also had Employee Owner of the Year. And we also had the category that you were there as one of the 3 finalists, and that was the Employee-Owned Company of the Year, the ESOP Company of the Year, which is huge. There's only, just to give context here, there's only 19 chapters in the entire association, and each chapter will award a recipient for Company of the Year and also Employee Owner of the Year. And then the executive committee of the ESOP Association has the real tough task here of whittling that group down from 19 to 3. And you guys made it. And you got to hear about that beforehand, which I know you guys were ecstatic. I saw you there.
Yeah, we were totally good with that. We're like, this is awesome. We'd never made it to that level. We do put in an application pretty much every year. I think many companies do. And I think back in 2018, we'd won our chapter Company of the Year. And, we went out to DC and we were hopeful, but we weren't top 3. And so we've done a lot of work over the years and trying to kind of like, okay, what is it that can make a company, that would be recognized to be the Employee-Owned Company of the Year. And so, year after year, we're working on more educational opportunities. We've done more advocacy. We've sent people to not only, obviously the national conferences, but we participate at the local golf outing or, here in Iowa or Nebraska. We participate very, very strongly in the winter conference that is hosted in February. So there's just a lot of things. I'm like, you know what? The more people we can get involved from our Razor companies, the better it's going to be. And here we are. It worked. I guess it took 6 years, but you know what? We did it.
Well, nothing great happens overnight. I mean, you've been building on this year over year, and looking at this last year in 23, advocacy specifically, you had some proclamations, right? I mean, you had some things happen locally in your community as well as in the state of Iowa. Do you want to expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, in 2023, they mostly happened during ownership month, which we all know we celebrate in October every year. And last year, so in 23, we had the Cedar Rapids, Iowa mayor not only do a proclamation for ownership month, she attended uh, a, an ESOP Association event that we had called it's an ESOP Fest. And even though, and I know you can relate because it gets a little chilly in October outside, but we had an outdoor event and the mayor showed up and she read the proclamation there. And I have to tell you, all I did was send an email and ask. I wish I could tell you that I spent, hours and hours on it, but truly some of this stuff we have to know. It just takes you just have to ask. And so, and then she not only, did she say to do it, she's like, I want to be there. I want to show up.
Wow.
And so we had it all set up. And not only did she then read the proclamation, she stayed and she spoke with everyone and she was such a support. She is a supporter of employee ownership. So that was great. And then out of nowhere, the governor of Iowa decides that she wants to do a proclamation for the state. So we were able to we have obviously companies over in Des Moines. So we just contacted employees over there. And we're like, hey, who can make it to Governor Reynolds' office at this time on this date? And we sent Tony Dugan from our Midwest Memorials Company, and he's on the committee. And he said it was a great experience. All the photo ops, all that stuff happened.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just really doing that advocacy and education outside of your company it helps grow employee ownership. So, maybe in a couple of years, we're not in the 6,000. You quoted the exact number. I love that. But maybe we're at 8,000. I mean, I want everyone to be able to experience employee ownership. And I think that Razor has done a good job of helping be that voice to the external community.
I would agree 1,000%. And, Razor has shown so much support. You look at the association, for example, you have a key role leading one of our best chapters out of our 19. I mean, all the chapters are great. Don't get me wrong.
Love everybody.
We love them all. But you do a tremendous job leading our Iowa, Nebraska chapter. And both of you have been very active in participating in various conferences and various venues, speaking, even this podcast. Not everyone's doing a podcast. So that's another thing I want to highlight here. There's very few companies. I don't know if there's any other companies that are doing podcasts in the ESOP space. So you're kind of a trailblazer there. But if you could talk a little bit about, Emily, some of the stuff that you've been doing in those conferences, because that's been really well received.
Thanks, Jason. Yeah, no, I've had the distinct pleasure and opportunity to get involved in the chapter. I joined the executive committee back in 2022 and really hit the ground running and started, speaking at various conferences. And now I've spoken at everyone except national. Angie beat me out there on that one, but, we'll see if I make the list sometime. So yeah, I mean, just really, putting together our ideas, I think a lot of times, what we do, we don't think is cool. That's a very Midwest thing, I think, too. We're very humble folks. We're not used to talking about, ourselves and what we do. So to get the chance to just share that and then to get such great feedback from people of like, oh my God, this is cool. Then it's like, okay, great. So that's why, last fall, Angie and I decided to take the podcast concept and share it with our Midwest friends up in Minneapolis at the conference, and it was a great hit. And I know it's inspired other people to start podcasting, and we saw it as an opportunity to share the great news of what we're doing in our community, and in Razor, and then also in the chapter. It's a pretty easy lift, and so I said happily to take that on for the chapter as well, and get the chance to connect with folks like you and from across our chapter and across the association. So I never say no to that. I mean, ESOP's my favorite thing to talk about. So here we are. So it pays off, clearly.
Well, it's paid off in some ACE runner-ups as well. I mean, these ACE awards are not layups here, folks. I mean, we're competing against some of the best companies in the country. And now, granted, there's large company and there's small company, so it breaks it up a little bit. But do you want to expand a little bit on how you did last year in those ACE awards as well?
Yeah, no, we were very fortunate. ACE is something too that we've tried to submit for throughout the years, and just every year, and hadn't really found our groove. And so finally, we decided to submit 2 last year, just to throw it out there and really kind of put some oomph into it. And we ended up getting to be runner-up for both of those categories in single event for our employee ownership event that we hold each year, and then in intranet, which is highlighting our beekeeper platform, which we know people think is cool. And so the fact that we got to head out to Vegas for that and get that far last year was a huge win. Hopefully we can bring home some hardware here soon on that one, because now we're hungry for it. But
Yeah. What I want to say on that, Emily, what was so great about having those runner-up last year is that during our communication committees, what we call our EAC, we do our planning session in August, and they set it out and put it as a goal to win an ACE. So we then went through the ACE categories, and the committee chose which categories we were going to submit for. So this is not, I don't want anyone to think that this is Angie and Emily decide to do things. So we try to just execute and help make what they want to happen. And so they were very, I think, rifle focused about it, because we'd probably done a little scattershot. We put in several, and really just didn't have the focus that we needed. And the committee is really who dictated, what, our intranet is amazing, and our employee owner event is like the thing that most of us look forward to every year. Right. We can win on those. And honestly, being a finalist, they take that down to 2 with 1. I mean, I truly, I know I struggle sometimes with the silver medal, but we won. I mean, to your point again, Jason, there are just, hundreds of applications submitted, and I have to give it to the committee, right? The EAC, we're like, let's focus here and let's do it, because they said we did those things well. So.
Well, and it's not just the EAC, it's all of your fellow employee owners. They have the right mindset. They're thinking and acting like owners. They're promoting your culture. Let's be honest, they are your culture.
They're everything.
Both of you have the distinct honor of representing that larger group. And you did a tremendous job in Washington, D.C. just a couple weeks ago doing that. But I guess one of the biggest things I want to highlight here for those back home in Iowa is that this is really special. This does not happen to every company out there. Like I said, there's over 6,500 employee-owned companies in the country. The fact that you made the final 3 is a big deal. The fact you won Iowa, Nebraska is kind of a big deal. Let's be honest there, folks.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Getting that distinct honor goes ahead and really acknowledges all the hard work and the commitment that not only both of you, but everyone else at Razor Holdings and what you're doing consistently for each other, for future employee owners, for those that are retiring and moving on to that next journey we call life after work. All the things that you've been able to do in promoting this unique, non-traditional benefit that we call employee ownership has really been not only transformational inside your four walls, but also in your community with the proclamation, with your advocacy, not only in DC, but also locally. And then both of you have been such stewards in your chapter, leading with, great stewardship in terms of making sure these events are promoted well. I mean, we can't overlook those types of things. I know you're both very humble and you're not going to talk about the hours and hours and hours that you spend on this, but I really want to highlight you both have done just a tremendous job. And kudos to Raise Holdings for receiving this award, because it took a collective effort of all of you to get there. I want to highlight that.
Well, thank you so much. And I think that it really is about the support from everyone, right? They act like owners and their voices are heard. And, we basically they dictate the plays, but we also have a phenomenal leader here at Razor Holdings. I would be remiss if I did not mention our fearless leader, CEO and president, Michelle Jensen, and really her support of employee ownership and sending all of us to these conferences. Emily and I figured out that there were some substantial discounts if we spoke. So we've passed that word along, and we've got employee owners in individual contributor roles, putting in speaker proposals, being selected, speaking at conferences. If anybody wants to experience that, truly, we offer that up. We look at our committees as a development opportunity, and it's a growth mindset that we try to instill. And we're not a huge company. That's the other thing. We're just like, gosh, we're under 150 employees collectively among our, we have the holding company and then we have 4 companies, but everybody has a voice. And if they want to grow and learn and sometimes putting themselves out there and speaking at a conference in front of, it is, a couple hundred people at our winter conference. So they've done that. And it's that activity that I think that spirit that we have that helped us win this. So I am very, very, very honored that this happened, and we just have to continue to do the work. And I think it's fun. I think I know I sometimes take it for granted. Yes. Jason, you and I had a call yesterday on, there's a lot of extras that go into this, but it's a great community. And I think it makes it, a pleasure to do this work. And then I just forget that it's work sometimes.
Right. Well, I know you both enjoy this immensely, and you've done a really amazing job of being creative and thinking outside the box and really looking at ways to trailblaze in this new era of employee ownership. And it's really made a profound impact. And the award that you received as the company of the year was well-deserved. You went against some fierce competition, but the committee made the right choice. And it was quite an honor to see you both go up there and receive that. There's a lot of companies fighting for it every single year, but to see it come back to the Midwest, it's exciting. So excellent work by both of you and everyone else.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate you having this conversation with us, and hopefully, and I guess we're willing to share. We've done an outline of kind of the things we've done, and I think that's very common in this community. So we're open to sharing, and I would selfishly, obviously, I want a company from the Midwest to win every year, but and often it does. It does hit in the Midwest quite often, so we just have to keep it happening.
Well, almost certainly send my company nominations your way to get a couple ideas before they finalize on that submit button. So
absolutely.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. Jason, thank you so much. It's always high praise coming from you, getting to hear that from you. And we so appreciated your support in DC, where we loved celebrating with you in the Wisconsin chapter. And I made the joke when we got back. I'm like, we celebrated more with other chapters than we maybe even did our own. And but the fact that you guys were so jazzed for us meant the world.
It really did.
Truly. And of course, we, again, big shout out to the other finalists, Proact, Palmer Donovan, some of our
Absolutely.
friends there, and, people that we admired greatly, and incredible companies who are doing incredible things. So, again, even more, makes the award even more special, because we know, what we are up against, and the incredible work that they're doing as well. So, and of course, if anybody has any questions or wants to learn more about, our nomination and how we think we got here, I don't know that we'll ever know how we did it. Don't hesitate to reach out. We're always available. We can share what we know. No guarantees that it's worth anything. But here we are. So, Jason, again, thank you so much for your time today. And of course, thanks for jumping on as well. And we hope you folks have enjoyed this little special edition as we talk about this award. And again, Razor is so grateful, and we appreciate everyone's support and across our chapter and across the Midwest. And so we hope you've enjoyed this. And until next time.
Thanks, Emily.